Hey dude, what's up?
Hey, how's it going?
Alright, so you ready to go check out this
What?
Dude, you're seriously eating that before this movie?
Dude, it's not a food rights movie. It's not the norm array of food.
It isn't?
No, it's just a comedy.
Fry me up one of them suckers then.
Hey everyone, I'm Nate Fischer.
And I'm Dennis Stack.
And we are Cinema Buffs bringing you the review for Sausage Party.
Hey! I'm gonna fix you. I'm gonna fix this.
So here we are coming to the end of the summer of 2016 and we have Sausage Party, the brand new actually animated comedy from Seth Rogen. And hey guys, if you like what you see here, go ahead, click that like button. And if you want to see more, subscribe to our channel and you'll never miss an episode. So Nate, Sausage Party, I mean, you and I think it's fair to say we're fans of Seth Rogen.
Definitely, yeah.
And I've said this on the show before, I'll probably say it again, but I feel like with comedy, if you don't like the comedian, you're not going to really like the comedy.
Totally.
So, but at the same time, you like the comedian, you're a little bit more scrutiny.
Yeah, and I think that Seth Rogen is one of the better comedians and filmmakers out there, writers, at least comedy writers, today. And I mean, yeah, Sausage Party, if you've seen This Is the End, The Interview, or anything like that, you pretty much know what you're getting into, at least comedy-wise. You know, these guys are raunchy, they swear a lot.
It's crude.
It's pretty crude, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and also with, the same kind of humor, it's the same cast. Like, I would say almost everyone who is in This Is the End does a voice the character.
Sure. I mean, they have a crew now. They have these, guaranteed people, and every now it almost reminds me of Wes Anderson, how he has his crew, and every now and then he'll trickle in new actors, to play a new part. It sort of like joins their posse almost, and in this one he kind of does that for sure. There's some new faces.
Yeah, there are some new faces in here, and two of the new faces to this Seth Rogen troupe, I think, were the two biggest standouts in this. Yeah, and that was Edward Norton as Sammy the Bagel.
Yep.
And Nick Kroll plays the villain, and this takes place in a supermarket, so the villain is literally a douche. Which I thought was hilarious.
I thought it was hilarious too. I think that you're right with Nick Kroll and the douche. He was my favorite character. I would say out of the whole thing. But Edward Norton, a standout. I was kind of surprised he played sort of a character with his voice instead of actually just lending his voice itself.
Right.
So it was a little exaggerated, but he pulled it off. He did a really, really good job with it. So what did you think of Seth Rogen as the lead sausage Frank?
I loved him. I love, like, he threw his personality into the role, like his little mannerisms, little things that he adds to the end of sentences, just the stuff that he ad-libs, I'm sure. Yeah, and I thought he was very impressive. What did you think?
I liked him as well. I always do like Seth Rogen. What I liked is they interjected these actors' personalities into the animation. So the animation really fits their expression, and because we don't see animated movies swearing like this or doing these type of body movements that could be crude or disgusting, it adds a human element to it that's incredibly funny.
And Seth Rogen, he has that same flavor of comedy, the crude stuff.
Yeah.
But it's also very laden with pop culture references.
Yeah.
And I feel with this, they utilize animation to bring these like movie references out. Like they've referenced Saving Private Ryan, Terminator 2 at one point. So, with the thrown in that kind of element, what did you think about the comedy overall?
Overall, the comedy is hilarious. I laughed a lot in this movie. Not all jokes landed, for sure. There was a few misses, but the hits outweigh the misses by far. I mean, especially them taking food. It's such a good idea because there's so many different cultures of food that they can throw in so much different cultural comedy into this. There's so many stereotypes. Nothing's off limits whatsoever. It's very race, religion, all of that is here and being made fun of. So, like, whatever you are, whoever you are, it's gonna stab at you for sure.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing.
No. It's awesome. I enjoyed this very much. I was laughing throughout. And yeah, I agree with the hits and misses. And the racial humor and, like, the religious humor, like, it was satirical.
Yeah.
But it never went too far at any point.
No.
Like, I mean, like I said about Ed Norton, his character, he's obviously bagel and he's supposed to be Jewish and everything, and it's like a Woody Allen, like, stereotypical Jewish type character.
Yeah, for sure.
But it never got, like, too, like, over the top or offensive
where you're just,
with
like,
it.
rolling your eyes at or anything.
If you get offended, everybody's getting offended at some point.
For sure. And that's why I think Seth Rogen's such a good writer and such a good comedian, is because his writing's always interjected with heart. There's always a little bit of heart there, and there's a little bit of heart in this, and there's always a lesson to be learned as well. It's not all over the place. It's not just like raunchy, raunchy, raunchy. You do care, and you do realize the cleverness in this. You know, it's smarter than most writing. What did you think of the animation? I mean, with so many animated movies out there, in comparison, what did you think with Pixar, Disney, yada yada yada?
Right. I mean, this isn't as crisp of animation as like, you know, your big budget, your Pixar. I mean, I think this movie only had like a $20 million budget.
Right.
You know, all these actors who lended their voice did it for dirt cheap.
Yeah, for
to
sure.
help out Seth Rogen. But I thought it was good. I thought that the animation like really opened a doorway for these guys and their kind of humor to be released. You know, there's just so many things that within the real world you're limited to do with animation.
Sure.
You know,
I think it opens the
endless.
doors for adult humor, for adults finally utilizing the CGI technique to tell really funny R-rated stories instead of always PG or G-rated stories.
Yeah, I agree. And it's kind of funny, especially for us. I mean, we're of a generation that like grew up on Pixar and everything, so it feels like this is a Pixar like fanfic. Almost like it's made for us, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. I do have a gripe or two about the animation. Frank being the lead character, I think he could have been a little more distinguished, a little bit set aside in his look. I mean, obviously, there's not all the sausages on screen all the time, but I think even for marketing or like funny stuffed animals or anything, he could have had a little bit more distinct features to him.
Right. There wasn't a big difference between him and Jonah Hill's sausage character.
There really wasn't. Now, his face is a little lower on Jonah Hill's, but obviously, like, sausages aren't that detailed in the first place. You can't really get too creative with it.
Right, and I think that plays into, like, the budget behind the animation.
Yeah.
It was very good.
Yeah.
I'm not sneezing on it one bit. But it wasn't as, like, fully fleshed out as, like, a Disney, a Pixar, DreamWorks animation, any of those big studio animations.
Yeah, but it still was serviceable. Like, it was more than serviceable. I also really like that for a movie that takes place in a grocery store for the most part and all about food, they don't shove any brand in your face at all. There's no, like, marketing tools. There's no, like, drink Coca-Cola, Pepsi, none of that. They completely avoided it, and they used it to their advantage, like I was saying before, with the labels. It's like, how creative are they going to get with this mayonnaise label or with this Coke lookalike label or grape juice label?
The tequila bottle, like the font was clearly Jose Cuervo and
Right.
stuff like that, but it wasn't Jose Cuervo.
Yeah, and they could just use it and interject their comedy. And I like that they didn't take advantage of sponsorship or branding or anything like that. They made it their own. And even though some of the labels were a little bland, in my opinion, they were still funny to read and to catch off on the side of the screen.
Yeah, I think that within the animation, like, this movie's layered. I think it's one you can find more funny stuff every time you watch it over.
Yeah, and there are some spectacular scenes where it's really good animation. Like, the Saving Private Ryan scene was like, I like that animation. It really, like, puts you in that place for sure. I thought that was, like, at their highest moment animated-wise in the film.
So, Nate, I think it's fair to say that we both enjoyed this movie, but why don't you go ahead, rate it, put a number on it.
Yeah, for sure. I did. I enjoyed this movie. I hope Seth Rogen and his crew take it to further places with more animated features. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. Really enjoyed myself on this one.
Yeah, I mean, just between the comedy of Seth Rogen, like, this makes me even more excited for The Disaster Artist, or I'm sorry, what's now being called The Masterpiece.
Right.
That was on my top 5 anticipated for this year, and this kind of comedy just gets me going.
Yep.
So I'm in complete agreement with you. I'm going to go 8 out of 10 as well.
Nice.
All right, so that's a review of Sausage Party. What did you guys think? Leave all your comments below. Also, don't forget to click that subscribe button. We appreciate all the support. Next week, we will be bringing you our strongest, weakest summer movies of 2016. So look out for that episode. And remember, there's no place like the theater.
How long are them sausages, Nate?
5 minutes, Danny.